Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending this press conference today. Today's press conference is about reforming our present OHIP standards when it comes to covering foreign surgeries. And I'm relating specifically to a case that happened about 3 weeks ago, or a month ago it's been, sorry, January 20th. An Ontario resident by the name of Adolfo Flora, a panel had rejected his claim of $450,000, which he had to pay for a liver transplant that was done in England in the year 2000. After the panel rejected his claim, it got brought to my attention. And I responded, and I thought that this was disgraceful, that the Ontario government had rejected his claim. And for his particular case, he first got the liver disease because of tainted blood, and then was told that at the time that he was seeking a transplant, that they were unable to perform it here in Canada. So he had a choice. Either he died or he looked somewhere else to get his liver transplant, which he did. Fortunately, Mr. Flora had the funds to cover this operation. Most Ontarians do not have these kind of funds, and a lot of Ontarians have been dying because they're unable to go to other countries. But then the real question comes is, why are Ontarians going to other countries in the first place? And it's well documented that Ontarians are going to countries such as China, which we all know are illegally harvesting organs there. And it's already been a known fact that they're actually killing their prisoners to get organs, and yet the market's open there. This issue is very sensitive, and it could apply to any Ontario citizen at any one time or their family member. And it's well known that Ontario, as well as the rest of Canada, has been suffering with a severe shortage of organs and tissues. And another known fact is and this is well known in the medical communities, is that within the next 20 years, anywhere between 60 and 70% of our surgeries are going to be transplant related. So this is an extremely serious issue that needs to be looked at, needs to be addressed. And what we're urging the government to presently do is to reform their guidelines when it comes to payment for foreign surgeries. I personally feel that any Ontario resident that's waiting for a transplant should be covered. I think in the 10 years, both governments, the Harris and the McGuinty government, they had ample time and opportunity to address this shortage of organ and tissue donations, and they haven't. If you go to Italy or Spain or any of the countries that are leading the world in organ donations, nobody in those countries are going to other countries to seek other organs because their governments had addressed those shortages. It's been 10 years now that both governments have not addressed this shortage. So yes, it should be the responsibility of the government to address these shortages so people don't have to go to other countries to seek surgeries. And as I mentioned, yes, there has been ample opportunity starting from the Harris government in 1999 and right through to the McGuinty government, where today we're awaiting a panel through 23 sessions that will tell us how we're going to solve this crisis. I think both governments have failed this issue. And we're hoping that this will get enough attention so that we can finally do it right in our province and in our country. Step by Step has been known to be at the forefront of this issue. And for the past 10 years, we have conducted 5 high-profile campaigns. And I recently got sick while I was on my European tour, and I was unable to launch my 6th campaign, which I was working on. But I'm happy to say that we are going to be launching our 6th campaign in October. We're going to organize another 100-city campaign from coast to coast. If you recall, we had Christopher's Wish, the young 14-year-old boy that needed a transplant in 2004. Well, this time we're going to have 100 Christophers that are going to represent each community from coast to coast, and they're going to relay the torch of life. We're going to make sure that this issue gets the most ultimate attention that it can possibly get, and most positive attention, because we think that no Ontario citizen, and for that matter, no Canadian citizen, should have to go to another country, and it's a life and death situation, to find organs. We think if we do the right things here, there's enough organs to go around for everyone, and that's what I think the issue of the day should be in this election or any future federal elections. Beside me, I have one of our prime sponsors that are going to help us launch this campaign. His name is Nicholas Severino, and he will tell you a little bit about the upcoming gala that's taking place, and plus his family business, how they've helped Step by Step and what they're prepared to do for this campaign.
Thank you very much, George. I'm here representing California Sandwiches. It's a small 7-8 location operation here in Toronto. We're all family operated, all family run, and we have been strong supporters of George and the Step by Step Organ Transplant Association since the year 2000. Unfortunately, like George has just mentioned, there was that lag in the 2005 span when he fell ill, but we're here to lend our support once again and be adamant about raising awareness to this great cause. We'll be launching a gala in September that will set off the Coast by Coast run by George, and we hope to raise over $1 million to bring awareness to this issue. And the campaign will be called SOS 4000, which George will be inclined to elaborate on as well. And we are just strong supporters of George and the Step by Step organization and the Organ Transplant Association, because we feel it's just such a worthy cause to be involved in, and we feel very adamant that we can make a difference, and we can find that working together with George and the support of yourselves, the media, and kind gentlemen like Mr. Cormos, we can solve this problem in Canada once and for all.
Thank you, Nicholas. And I just want to indicate some of the areas that were given to both the Harris government and the McGuinty government, including in this shopping list of recommendations that were given back in 1999 were retrieval centers. During our tour across Ontario during that time, we found that a lot of hospitals weren't able to act as retrieval centers. Therefore, a lot of organs were getting wasted in many parts of the province. As well, that's when we first heard about the non-heart beating donation, which we recommended to Premier Harris to incorporate here in Canada because it was working successfully in European countries. It's taken 8 years for us to finally perform our first successful non-heart beating donation in Ottawa. And it's been the only one so far. Why isn't every hospital performing this? Also, what was probably the most important thing that we have gathered during the past 10 years was that Canadians were favoring the opt-out system, which is being used very successfully in countries in Europe. And it's taken over 8 years for it to get to the attention of politicians. And we've only had one person in Canada that has tried to champion this other option, and that's MPP Peter Cormos. the question is why, with so much information that was given to both the Harris government and the McGuinty government, why was it continuously being neglected and not acted on? I mean, when we did these campaigns, we had very responsible health officials with us, and it was well known. We were in the media, and the reports were as official as can be. Why has it taken like 8 years for them to realize how important this issue is? And then we got to ask, what are the next steps? You know, I haven't heard anything still from the McGuinty government on what they're going to do to address this issue. The panel, they had 23 sessions, and supposedly a lot of people weren't showing up at these sessions, and they were buying people to participate in these sessions. During our campaigns, we were talking with people from all walks of life, and we talked to people from all walks of life, and they came by the hundreds, if not thousands. And so we were able to talk to people that weren't getting paid to come, and we were able to get a good feel and good idea of what the people of Ontario and Canada were thinking about these issues. That's why we made these recommendations. So it's been 10 years since we've done that. And where are we?
What is a non-heart beating donation?
Before April of 2006, our Canadian medical centers were only performing brain-dead donations. Once the heart stopped beating, they would not retrieve any of the organs. They thought there was a medical and ethical issue involved. European countries such as Spain, who pioneered the non-heart beating donation, had been performing these operations for years and years and years very successfully.
So after the heart has stopped beating, you can still harvest. You must have a very short window there.
5 minutes. Yeah. So, and that's more than enough time. Now, if we started performing these non-heart beating operations like from way back in '99 when we first recommended that it be done, we would have probably had literally, if not hundreds, maybe thousands of people alive today. So if this procedure gets performed in every hospital across Canada, statistics that were shown in other countries when they incorporated, it could increase up to 20 to 30% our pool of availability organs. So that's one area. You know, retrieval centers, how many organs have gone to waste because hospitals weren't able to have the proper equipment or aren't set up to retrieve organs, and organs went to waste. Opt-out system. Overwhelmingly, we found people are in favor of that. And if that's the case, that would probably be the biggest engine to drive the rate of donations that much higher, you know. And then we're also looking at maybe possibly nationalizing our system with a provincial delivery system. Recently, they found a liquid in Edinburgh, Scotland, where they could sustain the organ up to 48 hours. So in a country as big as Canada, that would solve our logistics problem. We can literally have these organs on ice in this liquid for up to 48 hours, and we don't have to worry about whether they're coming from Vancouver to St. John's. So we're not at the cutting edge when it comes to organ donations. Other countries are. They have research teams, and they're listening around the whole world. You know, what's the newest, most innovative procedure that's being done towards organ and tissue donations, and they're incorporating things so that they're at the cutting edge. So what I mentioned is just a bit of the shopping list, and there's still many more other areas that could have gotten addressed, and I believe that we could be as successful as Spain. They last stated a 94% success rate. That's very high. Canada can have the same. So again, I don't know, I've been here about a dozen times already, and I feel like a broken record because I don't know if I'm being listened to or what's going on, but I'm gonna keep doing this, and this new campaign is going to hopefully bring a lot of attention back to this issue and really make this the number one issue. And we should make this the number one issue. It should be the number one issue when the election's coming up. It should be the number one issue when the federal elections are coming up, because there's lives at stake and they all can be saved. What could be more important than that?
You got your transplants here?
Yes, both of them. I was very fortunate too. And so, you know, I have my work's not finished, I guess. You know, I gotta keep, you know, I really believe in my heart of hearts that we're gonna get this right. It just, I was hoping sooner than later. But there's a lot more work to be done, and that's why we're launching this sixth campaign, SOS 4000.
Is the North York gentleman, he's not here today,
Adolfo Flora? No,
who had to go to England?
no, he's not here.
And he went there because there was no, you know, he was way down on the list or whatever. He didn't have a hope of getting one in Ontario for some time?
Yeah, my understanding, so you're quoting from my understanding, is when he approached the hospitals, he was told that they could not perform a live donor operation at that time because they didn't have the proper, they weren't ready to do it at that time. And at that time, England was.
He had a
Yeah,
live-
apparently that's what happened. And again, this wasn't, I know for a fact our doctors and our hospitals are the best in the world. When I went to Europe, they told me that as well. So our doctors and our hospitals are the best we can find. But what we need is government backing so they can be the very best. You know, they can be provided with the funds and research and to update and reform our present system so that they can do what they do best and even better. So this is why I'm saying this issue needs the utmost priority so that the doctors can get, the hospitals can get the proper funding, and that we reform our system so that we can have the most donations, we can reach our full potential in helping save everybody on that waiting list.
If I might add, that's actually why I'm here, because in the past, it's been simply a financial contribution that's been made to George in support of his campaign across Canada, which we were glad to do. But this time around, we decided, since he got healthy, we decided to work collaboratively with him and the Organ Transplant Association and our corporate partners to use some of our muscle, if you want to call it that, to work collectively with George, the media, our corporate sponsors, and our customer base, the California Sandwich customer base, which is somewhat substantial within the Greater Toronto Area, to bring more attention to this campaign instead of simply just writing a check to George, which he needs and deserves to help fund this campaign. We want to bring a lot more awareness and bring a lot more funds to the actual campaign itself than in the past. Let's put it that way.
Thanks.
We're good? Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Appreciate it.